YouTubies and Twitch. All right. Welcome to the Trey Show and I Show. What's going on? Today we're talking about what women think men want. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about what men want, right? And this is huge, right? So we're not going to be able to cover every single thing. And I don't really plan on being on live for the rest of my life, just for a moment in time. And so I just want to cover just a few things in this. We spoke about in my last podcast, we spoke about two different, we're jumping right into it. We're talking about two different archetypes, if you will, two different types of characters, if you will, that men are looking for. Now, one might say, well, is this all men? And I don't know all men. So I can only talk about the caliber of men that I choose to aspire to, that I am. I can only account to that type of man, that type of male. Okay. So it's real simple. It's two archetypes, two types, and it is the angelic and the human. So the spiritual and the human side. I'm trying to pull up my notes here in my book. If I could, there you go. I can even pull it up over here if I wanted to on the live. Let's see if I can do that. But there's two types of the first one of these archetypes. The first one we're going to talk about is the angelic. Yeah, let me put that in the screen. You see that right there. The angelic arouses feeling of near worship. Now, a woman is probably asking, like, is this obtainable? Can I do this? I know for me, growing up in the church and hearing women talk about Proverbs 31 woman and how they couldn't obtain to that, they couldn't aspire to that, or they aspired to that, but they couldn't actually get it and be it because it was just too much. Now, I want to debunk that. I don't really believe that it's too much. I just believe that and understand that the seduction of Hollywood, Disney, just entertainment in general, that seduction for women is a lot more stronger than the desire to be a wife or be a good girlfriend, be a homemaker, do these things. Okay. It seems to me, right? I mean, we're talking about women that are being seduced in basically a fantasy. It's a sheer fantasy. It's a sheer fantasy that and what is going on. And it's pretty sad. It's actually really sad. It's actually really sad. And I'm privileged actually and honored to be with a woman that knows the roles of and the nature of women, of herself. What is this? So yeah, so I'm privileged in that. I'm honored to be involved and to be with this person, this human being. It's truly, truly amazing. Because I think that if I was with somebody else that was independent, it obviously wouldn't work. Because the type of person that I am wouldn't work with that. And so a lot of couples you're seeing all these different couples fighting and whatnot, and it's like you're fighting. I can tell you right now what you're fighting over. If you can eliminate the fact that you guys are not at war with each other. Okay. So you're not at war. And because you think that it's like your differences will bring you closer. The nature of who you are, knowing the nature of who you are, though, that yin and that yang, the masculine and the feminine, knowing those differences, knowing those and how those differences actually come together and unite and make something very beautiful, to where your relationship is likened unto a vacation, right? Because as a man, we want to vacate all the bullshit that's going on in our life. So we want to break from that. When we're with you, we don't want to have to put up with the same bullshit that we put up with in the world when we're with you. We don't desire that. That's not what we desire. Brings man deep, abiding happiness. That's the angelic side or the spiritual side. You want to bring this woman, you want to bring this man into understanding of what's going on, right? He has understanding. You dig? He has that understanding. You're making it easier. You're bringing peace to that understanding. I remember growing up, my mom says, there's only a few things that you should pray for. There's only a few things that you should desire. There's only a few. Understanding is one of those things. Wisdom, knowledge, right? And with those things, it equals this, those sums, those things equal power. Power. So as we are out there, men are out there doing their thing, we want that person, that woman in our life, the women in our life, we want them to be bringing us peace. You dig? Because imagine, right? Imagine you're in a debacle. Imagine you're in a situation where you have to throw down. Do you want your woman to know what to do at that very moment? Or do you want her to panic and be emotional? You want her to do. Now imagine women, do you want your man to not know what to do in a situation? What if he didn't know what to do? So a quick story, very quick story. A acquaintance of mine was getting married, and he was courting this girl. He was with this girl, dating this girl, and they went on one of their first or second dates. And she's a beautiful woman, and somebody had approached her, or someone was bothering her, right? Asking her questions, kind of creepy. It was not kind of creepy, but it was extremely creepy. And she was telling us the story. And the way she told the story was she told that part, but she's like, what happened or what didn't happen is that he never stepped in. He never like stood up for me. And right then and there, that's a red flag, because you got to be ready. Not that she couldn't defend herself, and that's not why you should not do it, or you should do it. You should do it because you're that man, because you're that guy, right? You're going to protect the people that you love. I naturally do that, even though sometimes like I'm like, "Whoa, Lord, I'm way over my head, Doug." Like I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But I can't project that. I got to really switch up that talk. I got to switch up that talk real quick, real fast. I got to switch up that talk, and I got to use, if I got 2-3 tools, I got to use those 2 or 3 tools in order to defend myself or my family or whoever. I'm always thinking. I'm in the bed. If I hear noise, the other night was actually funny, but not funny. I was on the couch and I was watching television, and right before I went to sleep, I said, "Mark, get up and go to bed. Get up, turn everything off, shut everything down, go to bed." And I didn't. And because I didn't, I fell asleep. The door was open. I think it might have been locked. I'm not really sure. The window was open. And where I live, like everyone does that. It's just, we don't shut the door. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You can literally come over at 2:30 and the door is, you just like, bloop. You can get yourself some food and walk out. We would never know. I would actually. But so I'm on the couch, and because I told myself, hey, close up everything, go to bed, and do that, I fell asleep, and my lady comes over and taps me. So she's behind the couch and she reaches over and taps me and says, and I think she said, Mark. My first reaction, I jumped up and I was in full swing. I was in full swing. And she's like, Mark, 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 it's me, it's me, it's me, it's me. I was like, oh, shoot, my bad, my bad. You know, and I had to calm down from that. I was like, whew, I was in full swing, jumping over that couch, ready to attack. And that is the job of a man. That is what he is supposed to be doing, right? The other side to that, so the second archetype of a woman is the human side, right? The natural side, and it's the fascinates and amuses and arouses a desire to protect and to shelter. So I know that if put into a situation, my lady can throw down. I know that. I know that she can watch over herself. I get that. But at the same time, as a man, I can't allow that. I can't just be a bystander in that situation. Why? Why would I do that? You know? And I say that because I hear so the the millennials and this new age of thought process is saying that, you know, it's not always the man's fault. You know, women think they're doing a good deed when they're like, it's not. I want to help the man by, you know, allowing him to be lazy, or he shouldn't have the burden to take care of the family and this and that and do all these different things and yada yada yada. I'm like, so where did you get the idea that it's a burden? Because to me, that shit is not a burden. That shit ain't a burden at all. I enjoy it. I enjoy it. I wasn't always like this, but it's like through a process, I began to enjoy. And so those, real quick, for Instagram, whatever this is, I'm still learning this shit here, Reels or whatever. I don't even know if I clicked the right thing on it, but those two things right there, we want to unpack. We want to take and we want to just unpack those things in detail. And I just think that, like, the independence of women is also hurting their relationships. You know, there's so many relationships right now that are in turmoil, you know, mine including. You know, we used to be at odds all the time and at each other's necks all the time, and it just wasn't something that I wanted to be involved with anymore. I was either going to get out of the relationship, or I needed to figure out, is this the person that I want to be with? Is this the person that I want to be in a long-term relationship? Is this the person that I want to continue to stay married to? Is this the person that I want to do life with? Is this that person that I want to sacrifice for? Is she that woman? Huh? Is she that woman? Right? Because if she is, then I need to change. And I did. And I continue to change. And it's a lot. It's a lot. And it can be overwhelming. But we do the things that we need to do in order for us not to be overwhelmed. And then we get it cracking. I think that women, they don't, not all of them, and I put them, I'm generally speaking, that they don't really know what men want. They think that, like, it's the food and the cooking, but that's not what it is. It really comes down to the, like, are you a homemaker? Can you make a house a home? That shit excites me, right? Can you take something, a talent of yours? So my wife does social media posts and marketing for realtors, real estate agents, right? That might not necessarily have the time to do this or don't want to do this. They're so busy that they need help. You dig? And so she brings upon that help so that they can be free and have their time to do what they need to do. And she puts it together and posts it and whatnot. It makes it look nice. That is something that she didn't know that she liked to do. She was hired on by an organization, a nonprofit organization, and a church to do their social media for like a couple years, or maybe it was a year or so, and they paid her and everything like that. And in that process, she found out that she enjoyed this, and coming to find out, she's actually good at it. And so it's like taking your own gift and your talent and doing something that you can do. You can still be a homemaker. You can take your talent and expand on that. Right. She also homeschools. So she has to find curriculum and studies and this, and that, and come up with different ways to do this and that, and go over here and go over there and teach these children, educate these children on real life, educate them on science and history and everything like that. And it's amazing because we understand that our kids are different. All of our kids are different. They learn differently, and then in that process, she has to learn. My wife has to learn how to conduct, how to be a principal and a teacher and this and that. And so, making that's part of that. That's attractive to men like me, right? Can you be the peace in our life? Can you be the peace in our life? The whole idea of this independence thing is ridiculous, because you're saying that you're independent, but you have all these women that are working 9 to 5s, depending on people, depending on men to give them validation, to give them money. So you can't necessarily say you're independent and then like you still want dick. It's like, what? And I get what's happening, right? And I understand you guys been bamboozled. It's bamboozled. You've been bamboozled to believe that you didn't already have the certain power that you needed to be able to be an amazing woman. So you went on the outside of yourself looking for validation, when all the while it was in here. It was inside of you already. It was inside of you, and you went to the outside because somebody told you that you needed this. Somebody told you to be hooked on Disney. Somebody told you you needed to be hooked on sitcoms and movies and get all of your teaching from that. Isn't it funny how you get your teaching from that? How do you learn about relationships? How do you learn about relationships? Women, how do you learn about relationships? I always ask this question to everybody. How do you do it? Oh, it's my parents. They've been together for 30 years. And right there, I'm like, boom, right there. You think that was success. You think that people know how to endure. There are prisoners that know how to endure time. They know how to, I worked in the jail for 6 years. And I remember I would talk to the inmates, and they talked to me about their case and what happened, and they give me the deal, what was going on. And they were like, we don't know what's going to happen. We probably think I'm going to get 10 years or 5 years, this and that. Long story short, they would go to court, come back. I would talk to them after that, and they're like, oh yeah, I got 10 years. They're going to make me do that in this jail. And that's what Mr. Obama did, is he allowed state and federal offenses to be the same. You can basically serve state time in a county jail, thanks to your beloved Obama. So that means in a facility that wasn't meant for long-term stay is now meant for long-term stay, and is now crowded, extremely crowded. So what do they do? Man, I'm sorry. Excuse me. That is rude. So what the fuck do? They let inmates go. Excuse me? No, they didn't. Yes, they did. I was there. Any inmate that had those little traffic things and all those little misdemeanors and things that didn't really matter, but they just wanted that money. Now they were getting more money from the government and from those that are staying in they got more money. Gosh, it was, dude, it was like, I think Obama and Biden gave it was like 20 million, something ridiculous. I was in those meetings, and it was like it was a lot of money, like a lot, to the point where they built another. It was enough for everyone to build another jail, a bigger jail. And then I spoke to, I was in meetings with the chief of the Highway Patrol of California, chief of police, all the chief of polices in California. They got together, and I remember sitting in the meeting, and they were just talking about. Now I'm rambling, huh? But here's the point: they were in the meeting talking about how, what is it? They were going to build. They were going to create within California. They were going to build 32 new prisons. And I'm just like sitting. I remember being kind of naive, and I'm like, why would they want to do that? I didn't realize though what it's labor. It's slavery all over again, and it's one that we are okay with. We're okay with that slavery because we can say, well, he was doing drugs, so he went to jail. He robbed and stole, this and that, and now he's in jail. They got into a fight. They did this. They did that. Now they're in jail. But now they're in there, and all the made in the USA, Obama and Biden, what they wanted was what they don't tell people on the news is that's how they were going to get made in America, is get them to buy all your stroller, everything that you buy. Like I said, everything is not everything. A lot of what you buy that's made in America, it's made by inmates, and we all know this, but it was like at that time, I actually didn't know. At that time. And it was sad because it was really sad because I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? And it actually I have a heart for that. It broke my heart because it's like, man, you're gonna incarcerate all these people, and then you let these other people go. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, the grass ain't green on the other side. What was I talking about? I forgot. I forgot. We better cut this off right here, then, player. All right. Where was I? Random story. I know. If I can turn back time, I want to get rid of this. I lost my train of thought.